And welcome back to the last Who Would Win, the week of Who Would Wins. Someone had brought up that I didn't seem like I put a lot of effort into one of the Who Would Wins yesterday, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't as energized as I could have been. I wasn't feeling great yesterday when I did those videos, but I still wanted to get those videos out roughly when I said I was going to. So if I seemed a little lackluster and didn't go quite into as much detail as I normally do, that would be the reason why. But I digress. So this one comes to us from Dragon Breath 69, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Darwin or Taskmaster? Now, what's interesting about this is they're characters who exist within the same world. They're both Marvel Universe characters. In fact, it's possible these two have even met before. I'm pretty big into comics, but I don't remember a comic where they met. But Darwin's main ability, mind you, is his ability to adapt to anything to survive. If he is in fire, he will gain fire resistance, fireproof skin. If he is underwater, he'll gain gills. If he is in space, he'll be able to survive in a vacuum. So his power is to allow him to survive. However, and so that means he could, in theory, gain individual abilities. Get away, freaking ad! I don't care about you. I guess they're doing Ripley's Believe It or Not again. Sorry, there's an ad for, I believe, Ripley's Believe It or Not with Bruce Campbell, which, to be fair, I would watch that, but that's beside the point. For some reason, it won't go away. Oh well, as long as the sound doesn't show up at all. Darwin's ability, though, isn't really tailored for actual combat, mind you. He can gain abilities that allow him to fight. He could gain wings that allow him to, hit people with those, or he could gain spines or something like that. He can gain abilities which allow him to fight, but his ability is to allow him to survive more than anything else. And that will sometimes backfire on him, because in order to survive, his body may decide, we don't have anything that can directly help you here except get out of the way. Prime example being in World War Hulk, where he was fighting the Hulk and trying to absorb the gamma radiation coming off the Hulk. His body basically decided it was just too much. When the Hulk came at him, his body decided the best course of action to survive that encounter was to not be there. So clearly his mutation has limitations in terms of what it can do, in terms of what he can, in theory, survive. Whereas the real name of Taskmaster is Tony Masters. Tony is, I believe he is a mutant. That's the thing. He does have a super soldier serum himself. Or was that? Oh wait, no. After being injected himself in a Nazi version of the super soldier serum, his brain capacity began to absorb knowledge instantaneously. The serum altered his brain and make him hypercognitive in skill areas. So he's actually not a mutant. I actually thought I'll be honest, that's my bad. I thought his powers were because he was a mutant, but it was a human who was born with photographic reflexes. He was human, but he had great memory, and then the serum basically gave him photographic reflexes. Essentially, his greatest ability, to what Taskmaster is known for, is copying the fighting styles of other individuals to a T. He can study your movements and mimic those movements perfectly. He does have limited superhuman speed, strength, durability, physical movement prediction, meaning he doesn't just know how to move like you, but he knows how you move, and therefore can immediately counter you. And because of this, he is a master martial artist, having copied fighting styles from, learning personal fighting styles of, not including Ant-Man, Black Crow, Black Knight, Black Widow, Blazing Skull, Boomerang, Bushwhack, Black Panther, Captain America, Cat, Constrictor, Daredevil, Deadpool, Destroyer, Elektra, Falcon, Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Moon Knight, Nomad, Oddball, Punisher, Silver Samurai, Red Shirt, that's an interesting name, Solo, Spider-Man, Swordsman, Tigra, Tombstone, Tumbler, U.S. Agent, Wolverine, Zara, and many others. During the siege on Asgard, Taskmaster's combat skills were so advanced that he easily defeated 2 Asgardian soldiers by outwitting them in both armed and unarmed combat. He even trained numerous of criminals in base. Oh, I see how it was a word. Master tactician. Because of that, he also carries around a lot of weapons as well. Specifically, and he has an energy shield, which you can mimic Captain America. He also does have things like energy claws, like Wolverine, energy webbing, katana, bow and arrow, sword, broadsword, pair of 45 magnums, I believe, rope, round steel. Basically, he carries around all this kind of weaponry of the people he's imitated in some shape or form. However, he isn't without weakness. Taskmaster is not capable of duplicating physical feats because a dude he can copy you, but he's limited by his own physicality. He could copy the fighting style of the Hulk perfectly, copy the motions, but he can't match the Hulk in combat. Colossus, he's individual. Quicksilver, he could copy the movements. He can't copy the speed, so he is limited by his physical movements. He can't duplicate any energy manipulation or anything along those lines. He's unable to copy the moves of Alex Hayden for unknown reasons. Who was Alex Hayden? Because if I know who Agent X. Does he have any mutant abilities? Nope. Wait. He has a healing factor. For some reason, he was unable to copy the movements of this individual. So there are, I guess, individuals whose movements he is unable to match. There's something about individuals' movements he cannot copy. Let's see here. Besides that, though, when Taskmaster copies something new, it pushes out old memories out of his brain in a form of amnesia. For example, he's only able to retain a total of 8 languages. As a result of long-term exposure to his enhanced cortisol contained in the modified super serum. Okay, because of super soldier serum, Tony's hippocampus, the part of his brain responsible for networking memories and consolidating information for both short and long term, suffered severe damage, which resulted in having him have difficulty recalling specific and explicit memories. For example, he can recognize a place or landscape from a photo or painting, but cannot recall if he's actually visited the place. In extreme situations, he can even forget who he is, what he's doing, or why he's doing it, and this results in him forgetting about people he's met, although he can recognize them. Which is, like long-term, especially as we get older, that could really be a long-term problem for someone. But if these two were to meet in a fight, how would this fight go? Well, I mean, Taskmaster would probably be tasked to, because he's pretty much acts like a mercenary. Try to take out Darwin, the unkillable man, if you will. So maybe he tries to come at him with the arrow. He hits Darwin, misses Darwin briefly, and then boom, arrow gets lodged in him. But it quickly, he get a healing factor to push it out. And then, Taskmaster comes in again, firing energy arrows, but, his skin hardens. So Darwin's now got hardened skin, and the fight goes down. Now, in a straight-out fight, Taskmaster kicks Darwin's ass. Even if Darwin has some level of hand-to-hand combat, Taskmaster is a what would be the word to use? A top-tier martial artist. A penultimate martial artist. Like, he's a dangerous man hand to combat. So Darwin can't do anything hand-to-hand wise against him. But the problem is, for Taskmaster, the longer this fight goes on, the better chance Darwin has to win, because he'll keep adapting to whatever's being thrown at him. He's already adapted hardened skin, a healing factor. Taskmaster maybe tries some explosive, but that doesn't work. Darwin's body at that point maybe absorbs the explosion, then fires it back at Taskmaster, has to get out of the way. And then Darwin comes in, maybe it lands a lucky shot in on him. He stumbles a bit, but Taskmaster's still coming at him again. And now he's pissed. So, all right, fine. Then they duke it out for a while longer. The way I see this is that Taskmaster has to end the fight quick. He has to knock him out, or he has to get the killing blow, take his head off, or something like that. And even then, that's no guarantee. But that's the way he's gonna have to. That's the way he's gonna have to win. Is like take him out, probably a headshot. And it's got to be like something that obliterates him more or less. Otherwise, this fight will drag out. And again, in a straight fight, he could probably win. But the problem is, if Darwin adapts too much, he's got no chance of winning. However, he's beaten Asgardians, individuals far stronger than your average human, in legitimate combat. So it's possible he could just outwit him, use a tactical move, and just kind of, boom, knock his head out. But the problem is, if his skin hardens, just smashing his head on something is not going to be enough to knock him out at that point. So it's all going to be a matter of how Darwin's body adapts. If his body adapts in a way that doesn't make him impervious to being knocked out unconscious, then even the further he adapts, I will give it the Taskmaster. As long as he can be knocked out, that's the end of a fight. As long as he be knocked out, then I gotta say Taskmaster still wins the fight. If he evolves pretty early on a way to not be knocked out, all Taskmaster is ultimately going to do is tire himself out, and Darwin will ultimately win the fight. If I were to say, though, which one is the more likely scenario, ooh. Again, because the problem is it's all random. And Darwin's abilities don't stay with him throughout the entirety of his life. They disappear afterwards. It's just a matter of what he needs to survive the situation. I'm going to say, because it's a random, it's just kind of flip the coin, what power is he going to get to survive? I will go Taskmaster. Just because he has enough experience dealing with other superhuman individuals and more fighting experience and better tactician and just more weaponry, I think he stands a chance of getting the majority. But because it's random, I can't discount that Darwin just wouldn't be able to be knocked out or legitimately beaten after a certain amount of time evolving. So I'll go 60% Taskmaster, but this is an interesting thing because ultimately the one thing that is really saving Darwin in this is his ability to just adapt and evolve. Now there's limitations to it, mind you, but in this circumstance, Taskmaster isn't like the Hulk where, oh God, I got to get out of here. It's the only way I can survive. No, he's got some weaponry, sure, and he's got techniques in hand-to-hand combat and blades and explosives. But compared to the Hulk, that's not something his body would say, I got to get out of here. That's his body saying, oh, I can do this. I can handle that. So despite the fact Darwin doesn't have much skill to beat him otherwise, his ability to adapt and evolve would be enough to just wear Taskmaster out after a long while. Now, in reality, in like an actual storytelling purpose or storytelling sense, Taskmaster would eventually withdraw from the fight to regroup, recollect his thoughts, and figure out how to tackle Darwin from a different aspect and angle. But for the sake of a fight where neither of them back down and one of them does lose, I will go Taskmaster the majority, but there's a solid shot that Darwin could actually win that fight. But what do you think? You think it's Darwin or do you think it's Taskmaster? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a little bit for What If. Later.